News 8 Squad. Of course, we'll keep our viewers informed on those developments as we get them. But moving on now and over to the Americas, and Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, has called on the US to show respect for the dignity of ousted leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores. Maduro and Flores were captured by US forces in a military strike on January the 3rd and taken to the United States to face charges. In a speech to lawmakers, Rodriguez insisted her government is not afraid of a diplomatic clash with Washington. She demanded respect for the personal dignity and integrity of Maduro and his First Lady, both now in US custody. Rodriguez also said that Venezuela is ready to engage in diplomacy even as tensions with the US remain high. Let's listen in to what the Venezuelan interim president had to say on the issue.
Hay una mancha en nuestras relaciones. Cuando cruzaron la línea roja, atacaron, agredieron, mataron, invadieron y secuestraron al presidente Maduro y a la primera dama. Es una mancha en las relaciones entre los Estados Unidos y Venezuela. Entiendan lo que quiero decir. Sabemos que son muy poderosos. Sabemos, embajador Lanjú y Sergei, sabemos que son una potencia nuclear letal y no tenemos miedo a encarar diplomáticamente a través del diálogo político como corresponde y resolver de una vez y para siempre esta contradicción histórica. No. Venezuela está amenazada. Venezuela toda está amenazada y por eso yo llamo a la unión nacional para que con la soberanía por delante demos la batalla diplomática. Y yo les digo, si algún día me tocase como presidenta encargada ir a Washington, lo haré de pie, caminando, no arrastrando.
Next we turn from Latin America to Scandinavia, and the Danish Foreign Minister Lars Lokke Rasmussen has ruled out that US acquisition of Greenland after the White House has said that European military mission to the Arctic island had no effect on President Donald Trump's territorial ambitions. Rasmussen said that this is out of the question, as it is not what Denmark and Greenland wants, and it runs counter to all international rule as it infringes on sovereignty. The Greenlandic Prime Minister, Jens-Frederik Nielsen, has responded. Let's take a listen in to what he had to say.
Det kan godt være lidt svært at fokusere på andet, når vi står i en så stor geopolitisk krise og med trusler om annektering. Tiden er inde til, at vi står tydeligt sammen. Galatligt imellem og inden for kongeriget Danmark. Jeg sagde forleden, Grønland vil ikke ejes af USA. Grønland vil ikke styres og kontrolleres af USA. Grønland vil ikke være en del af USA.
However, the White House has said that the deployment of European troops in Greenland has no impact on US President Donald Trump's plans to take control of the Arctic island from Denmark. The White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has responded. Let's take a listen in to her statements.
Well, to your first question on Greenland, I don't think troops in Europe impact the president's decision-making process, nor does it impact his goal of the acquisition of Greenland.
Joining us is Ross Feingold, a political analyst, and he joins us live from Taipei in Taiwan. Ross, thank you very much for joining us. It seems that after this meeting that we saw between the Danish and Greenlandic foreign ministers with the US Vice President and Marco Rubio, that stance from both sides remains unchanged. The Denmark and Greenland want their territorial integrity, and the United States still very much desires the island without question. How did you react when you realized that this diplomatic meeting, which of course saw some hope in terms of solving this not through military means, unfolded in not much of a breakthrough when it came to negotiating this?
I think the expectations for that meeting were pretty low. At the moment, President Trump's position is quite clear, and that's been enunciated not just by President Trump, but by spokespersons as well. And the position is that President Trump wants Greenland to become part of the United States in whatever format that might be, some kind of Commonwealth, something similar to Puerto Rico, Guam, some of these other overseas territories of the United States, or in theory, it could be a state as well. But the thing that Trump at the moment doesn't seem to be interested in is what Greenland and Denmark are proposing, which is that we're happy to lease additional territory to the United States for military bases, and we're also willing to talk to the United States about greater access for mining. But again, that's not what President Trump wants. So at the moment, they could talk endlessly, but there's no way to bridge that gap.
The United States, Europe, of course, has pledged solidarity with Denmark and the people of Greenland. What is the European bloc trying to achieve by placing troops on the island just in the past 24 hours?
It's hard to imagine the U.S. using military force to take over Greenland, even though the Trump administration has not eliminated that possibility. So however unlikely that possibility does exist, with the deployment of European troops, however small that force is, and however, frankly, inferior it is against the strength of the U.S. military, it does have a deterrent effect. I don't think the Trump administration wants to be in a war with its European allies where not just American soldiers, but European soldiers would be dying in a fight over who has control over Greenland. So it does have some deterrent effect. And also there's the political message where Europe is saying, they're not quite saying enough is enough, because there probably are more actions they could take if they really wanted to show anger at President Trump. But they are showing unity, and they're showing support not just for the government of Denmark, but also for the people of Greenland as well. So if you're a European, I think you need to be happy that the political leaders are starting to take some action.
Yes, Ross, do stay with us as we move over to the Indo-Pacific for our next story. And a new deal calls for Taiwan's chip